Hi everybody, welcome to the second installment in my lesson series. Today I'm going to cover Deep River Blues by Doc Watson. If you want to really hear a great version, Doc Watson has a live album he did with his son Merle back in the 60s. And I want you to know it's an absolutely exquisite album in its entirety, and their version of Deep River Blues is just amazing. In fact, it may be the seminal version of that song with both of them playing. I'm going to show you how I play it, which is a kind of simplified version of how he plays it. Here we go. What he does is he starts with two chords, which is an E7th, and I'll outline the fingers, and then a diminished chord. And so I'm going to play you the intro, and he does a neat thing at the beginning, and it allows him to talk to the audience. So if you ever play this live, this gives you a chance to communicate over a really easy pattern. He just takes his thumb and alternates between the low E and then the D and G string. Hear it? There. And that's really the pattern he uses throughout this song along with his fingers. Now, here's how the intro goes. So there's the intro. So what am I doing there? All right, I'm alternating, of course, alternating with my thumb, just like I showed you at the beginning. So let's talk about what these chords are. Let me come up here so you can see it. All right, here's the E chord. And what I've got is my first finger on the B string on the 5th fret, my second finger on the D string on the 6th fret, my third finger on the G string on the 7th fret, and my pinky down here on the high E string on the 7th fret. And that's an E7th. And you just kind of block off the A, I do, with this finger so it won't sound. Of course, I've got 5 sausages mounted on a ham, so it makes it a little easy to block off strings. All right, and all I do is I use that alternating thumb, and then I'm gonna roll, almost like banjo rolls. And I use my third and middle finger for this roll. And that comes from when I was a telly player primarily, and I played with a pick and fingers like that, but now I just use a thumb pick. I find it easier, but I can't break that. So all you're doing, you're hitting the bass once, and when you come up, you're gonna pluck the D and G string, and you're gonna pluck the high E string at the same time. Okay? Then, in between, you're going to go in between down to the B string, okay, with this middle finger. All right? And you're just going to kind of syncopate it. Bop, 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 bop. So, in my case, it's 3-2, 3-2, boom, 3-2, 3-2. And then I go down to this diminished chord, it's one of those chords like that. And he goes down to it. And basically, you take your first finger and put it on the D string on the 5th fret, your second finger on the B string on the 5th fret. Then you take your third finger and put it on the G string on the 6th fret, and your pinky goes on the E string on the 6th fret. And that's it. All right? And you use the same picking pattern. And you let that ring when you hit it with your thumb. Now, what about that lick? That elusive lick? It took me years to figure this out. Okay, so what you do is you take you're basically going to take this E7th and slide it in. Now, a lot of times I'll take my middle finger off and just use the top 3 strings. And I start 1 fret below where it occurs and come up. All right? And then I play the open E string as soon as I'm done. Bum, ba. And then I come down here and make a D7th form. Okay? And I start it on the 2nd fret. So my 2nd finger is on the B string on the 2nd fret. My 3rd finger is on the G string on the 3rd fret. My pinky is on the E string on the 3rd fret, and I slide that all up 1 fret. And as soon as I slide it up, I play the open E, and then I play the D, which occurs on the 3rd fret on the B string. And then I'm going to do this slide up into A, which is kind of like a Mississippi John Hurt type move. And I'm just going to play the D and the B open. And then I'm going to play the D and the B on the 1st fret. And then I'm going to slide in to the 2nd fret on those same strings. And then I hit that E. And then I bring the pinky up. And I go on the 3rd fret. And I kind of like bend it up a little bit. Bring it off, bend it up, and then bring it off to the E, and then hit that B string on the 2nd fret. And then, in between this note and the E, I'm playing the open E. And I've gone back to the same picking pattern. Okay, so all I'm doing there, I'm playing open, and then playing these 2 strings, the D and G, and then I go back down, and then I bring my 1st finger in and catch that 1st fret on the G string again. All right, and then I'm going to play the 2nd fret on the B and the open E. And then I do a bend again. I come out to the 3rd fret with my pinky. And I bend on the 3rd fret, down to the E, 3rd fret on the B, down to the B. And as soon as I come to that B, I'm making a B7th. And the one I make is here. And it's 1st finger on the 1st fret on the D, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the A, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret on the G, open B, pinky on the 2nd fret on the D. Okay, so then I do my little Travis pick, and then I do this. And that gives me a chance to move my hand back up. So all I'm doing is 3rd fret on the E, open, and then 3rd fret on the B, open. And then I go back up to that same beginning part. And then I do that same lick. And then I go to E, and I do my picking pattern, and I go B, and then B 2nd fret, and then B 7th chord. And then I do the same lick where you got your pinky bending up on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then the 3rd fret of the B string. And then I do this little turnaround, which basically it's like an E7th. So you're taking your 2nd finger, putting it on the 5th fret on the A string, your 1st finger putting it on the 4th fret on the G, and you're going to slide them all the way back down to the E. And then I do a, which means I go bum, bum, bum. And then before I go finally into E, I lift up this finger and go G, hammer onto the 1. All right, and then play that open E at the end. Okay, so that's the intro there. If you have any questions, I know I did that kind of fast. If you got any questions about it, don't be afraid to contact me. All right, so when I'm singing, I don't do all that fancy stuff. I just go. At the end of each chorus, I do that little turnaround. So all I'm doing is basically picking the chords. Then I'll do an A7th up at the 5th fret, just like if you were barring, but I only use the top half of the bar. So I'm taking my first finger and barring across the top 4 strings of the guitar, the D, G, B, and E, and then I'm hammering on with my second finger on the G string onto the 6th fret. It's kind of like a little, you know, when you heard in the rockabilly music, I kind of use that. Back to that. You can put that rockabilly move. That's just taking your pinky, boom, on the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret on the B string, which makes it B ninth, which is kind of cool. All right, so there you go. Have fun with it. I hope you got something from it. Please don't hesitate to message me. Do something. Get in contact with me if you have a question about it, because I love to answer questions about music. I love music, and I love the guitar, and I love this song and Doc Watson. So anyway, everybody, have a great week.